G'day and welcome to the Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat, where you supply the questions and we'll supply the chit chat. It's a show by the people, for the people, the real Lakers fans, from position number 1 all the way to position 14 and 15. It's position 14 and 15 on the roster that come into question today. Is the Lakers signing of Christian Wood a genius move or another Andre Drummond-like mistake? What a good question. That's coming to us from Sean at Abbey Takeaway. Brilliant question. Who could forget Andre Drummond? The Lakers, they won the year before, won the whole title, and they were still sort of tinkering with the machine, trying to get the brilliant sort of combination up. We had Marc Gasol, and I think he'd been promised minutes, and then it was just like the Christian Wood thing. It was like the worst kept secret in the NBA. Everyone was talking about, when will this player be released? When will this player be waived? They won't be re-signed. There won't be an offer. A player who's used to being on bigger money, who's more productive than his money. Let's get this guy, Andre Drummond, in as a centre. He could play with Davis. He could back him up. He could play. But where does he fit into the team? What was the promise to Gasol? So what similarly is the promise to someone like Jackson Hayes in this team? What other minutes have been promised? That is one of the big questions. Is this a genius move? There's a lot to like about Christian Wood. There was apparently back then a lot to like about Andre Drummond, but it didn't work out. It wasn't a good fit. The chemistry broken up. It looked like sulking was the go with the other centre. What's the go this time? Well, Christian Wood, he offers a lot, doesn't he? 6'10". He said on being signed, I always wanted to be a Laker. Great, everyone's cool with that. Thank you. I know we can win a championship. Fantastic. Communication with the coach is a key. Good stuff. But it's lovely that he knows the coach too, Coach Ham, and all the way back from playing at Milwaukee. And he told me I'll be playing a big role. That's the part we've put in capitals because that's the bit we don't know about. It reminds us of this Andre Drummond situation where how's that going to fit in? What was the arrangement with other people already signed? How's this guy going to play a whole lot of minutes? Is it with Davis instead of Davis if somebody's injured? And what are the expectations? What's the chemistry? Because it looks like there's been some chemistry issues in the past. Look, have a look at this, some moving footage. Christian Wood can play, and that's for certain. Everywhere he's been a lot of places, more clubs than Greg Norman, one of our listeners said, or more clubs than Tiger Woods. But 67 games and 17 starts with the Dallas Mavericks. But have a look at these stats, 16.6 points. So could the Lakers use 16.6 points? Absolutely, from a backup centre. Wow. Does he know his backup centre, though? Big question. 7.3 rebounds, almost 2 assists, 1.1 blocks. He's a slightly better defender than people realise. But that was in 26 minutes. How many minutes is he going to play with the Lakers? Oh, it's going to be interesting. 51 from the field, 37.6. That automatically makes him one of the best three-point shooters on the Lakers, and that would be from centre. Wow. So the big question's got to be then, why is such a productive person available? Makes me start to wonder, have Dallas outsmarted the Lakers all along, or is it a genius move from the Lakers? But I was keen on getting for that 14th spot, if it could be non-guaranteed money, Markieff Morris. We could almost play him as the extra big, as the stretch four. He could hit a three, good locker room guy, but a bit of that sort of bulldog that we need in that power forward spot if LeBron's not on. I don't think Rui Hachimura is always the bulldog, so I just wanted that one more player, Markieff Morris. Then I thought we could have experimented more with Jackson Hayes. How is his minutes going to be changed with this Christian Wood? But the young man can play, and he's still quite young. There's a little bit more interesting background, of course. A lot of people will recall the Rockets had to suspend Christian Wood for a game and Kevin Porter for insubordinate behaviour. So there's a little bit of history. There's been movement at clubs. None of the clubs have got into the playoffs. There's a little bit to be concerned with. I think in this game, towards halftime, there was a bit of a disagreement, and Christian Wood didn't want to go back on the court, so suspended for really not cooperating with the coaching staff. Now, 7 NBA seasons, 7 clubs. This will be number 8. Wow. Dallas, Houston, Detroit. Did some good things at Detroit, and we're seeing some of the footage now. New Orleans for a little while. Milwaukee, and that's where Coach Ham has a connection there. So maybe that's something that can turn this ship around. That'd be fantastic. Philadelphia, way back for a starting place. Fantastic. Still only 27 years old. That's fantastic. 139 starts. What has been promised here? Has it been any sort of starting or first off the bench type promise? Posting averages of 14.8. That's across the season. I think last year his average was even better, and 7.3. Shooting 52% just about, nearly 38% from 3. That has got to be tempting to teams. But why did no one grab this guy? There was rumours for Miami, but perhaps too, a lot of people in those Miami type situations are waiting to see about Damian Lillard, and perhaps not being able to pay big money in case they need to keep big money free for a Lillard type player. So there was interest from other clubs, but the Lakers have been able to secure. Makes me wonder though, what have been the promises replay? Woods can even sometimes play defence. He's been criticised. People say, look, there's not much in it, but have a look here. Versus Embiid, took the bump. Look at this, and the block. He's got a great reach, about 6'10", but the reach is about 7'3". What's going to be the effect on Jackson Hayes and his development, or just his psyche on what the young player thought he was going to be up to in coming to the Lakers, trying to sort of reignite his career on a small amount of money for this year, the minimum, to hopefully kick off somewhere else, as a couple of players have done with the Lakers recently. Is he a backup for AD? Or is he under the impression to be playing with AD? Or is it even undermining AD a little bit that we're thinking we need to plan for AD missing 20 plus games each year? So what's going on with all that AD? Look, it looks cheap as well. It's a minimum contract, but it's player option for next year, so Christian Wood could move on if he can redeem himself and get good money or good offer somewhere else. But it pushes the Lakers closer to the top of that salary cap. So if it is a case where we've got to let this guy go, or if it's bad in the locker room and everything goes bung, what are we going to do there? The way that Andre Drummond, that was a cheap contract, but it really messed up the balance in the rotation and seemingly in the locker room with some superstars, particularly a guy who deserved a lot of respect at the time in Marc Gasol. And look, then the question's got to come up from one of our listeners then, Tim Huggs at Destination Anywhere. So who else would you have got then, Tony, if this guy, Christian Wood, isn't one that you were looking for? So when we ask who else would we have got instead of Christian Wood, look, I had a good look around and I went and broke down the games of some of the other options. Mamadi Diakite was a great young athletic player for Milwaukee, and he's had a little run there with OKC as well, but he's been released, and I thought, wow, this could be the guy. He's athletic, young, fits on the timeline of some of the other young players, and although while only being around 6'9", over 7 foot in reach, very athletic, and has shown signs of being able to hit a 3 in percentages close to Christian Wood, and would need less minutes than Christian Wood. So that's why I was interested. The wage, when you talk about minimum salary, that's going to be about the same. But the fact that this guy probably wasn't expecting the Wood type minutes made me quite interested in that as a prospect and fitting in with the young players on the timeline. The same here with Omar Yurtseven, played for the Miami Heat, biggest player around the 7 foot from Turkey, could hold perhaps another big centre, so maybe a few minutes there against some of the bigger centres as we get to the playoff end of things, and has shown signs of hitting a 3. Did miss a big chunk of one season with Miami as an injury. Bismack Biyombo, a little shorter, but the shot blocking, again, the long reach, but the veteran, you know what you're getting in Bismack Biyombo, a good team member. Myers Leonard, a big body at 7 foot, played a little bit of backup centre himself last year with Milwaukee Bucks. So I was interested there because another guy that hit a three, but only expected 12 minutes or so a game last season. That's what was interesting to me. The money, though, the fact you can get this guy, Christian Wood, on the similar money to these guys makes it interesting. These guys probably would have fitted in the time and the backup role, but it makes me wonder, wow, if you can get such a good player or potentially good player for such a good price, maybe it's very tempting. Now, what about the 15th spot? Wow, that's something. If this is the 14th spot, what will the Lakers do? With the 15th spot, I think the Lakers will keep it open. It looks like they've liked to do that last year. They like to wait to see if something comes up in free agency when players are perhaps released or waived. Left a little spot. It was the way, to be fair. We got Markieff Morris in the team that ended up winning there in 2019. Markieff Morris had been waived elsewhere and picked up late by the Lakers, and it was a real turning point. So getting someone in that power forward spot. I do have one other idea, though. If this is committed and we are better off leaving this spot free, particularly as we don't want to push ourselves too high on that salary cap and risk making an error and then not having enough space to move. I thought, wow, this is what I'd be doing. You can bring 3 two-way players in, and I really like all of these guys. Castleton, Fudge, and Demoy Hodge. We've talked about his preseason before. He's the guy I'd really like to see. Reminds us a bit of a young Contavious Caldwell-Pope. I'd be bringing these guys in. In fact, I'm probably more excited about some of these guys than some of the younger draft picks that we've got. So I'd love to see some of these guys in the rotation time to time, but I guess it's power forward that is the possible spot first. So the rawest of the 3 is probably Fudge, but the one I'd like to see in there for 3-point shooting is Demoy Hodge. I think he's got something special. I don't know how you get him in the mix with all these potential wings there, and Austin Reeves going so well in the FIBA World Cup and USA play again tomorrow in the semis. So it looks like he's bounced back from that game against Lithuania, but it was only against Italy. Can we see 2 games in a row a bounce back from Austin Reeves? But we better get back into the chat about the whole team roster. So now that we've got the 3 different players in the centre, which is, I think, something they wanted, I think we'll leave this spot open, and I'd really like them to see them roll these 3 two-way players through for those 50 games so we can get a bit of a look at them from time to time. Now, Woods, can he silence the critics? I guess that's what this has all come down to. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, okay, so let's go the other way. What if we didn't sign Woods? What would the response be from all these people that are on and really critical of this signing now, or overly excited? What would their response have been if a West Conference rival had signed Woods up? Would we be saying, well, we missed that one, we're asleep at the wheel, what were we doing, what was going on? I think at that money, with that potential productivity, I can understand why it'd be tempting. I'm still a bit worried about some of the signs, but I'm more worried about the chemistry of the team than the amount of money. So I've got concern, but I'm understandably can see the temptation to try this compared to the other contracts. None of those other guys had this productivity of points mixed on the floor, and who knows, maybe Coach Ham can redeem this relationship that was out there, or revigorate the career of Christian Woods. Never been to the playoffs, been to all of those teams, the 7 teams in the 7 years, this making the 8th. I'm confused where this is going to be with the minutes and statements he's already made, Christian Woods, about the big role he's going to play. But I'm guessing that's a good problem to have for the Lakers. You've been listening to the Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat Show. Please subscribe, like, ring the bell, share, and comment. We'd love to get more of your comments. Until next time, stay safe, enjoy the Lakers, enjoy all the Lakers for the different countries in the World Cup, and especially Austin Reeves, only because he's one under contract at the moment. So good luck there, and good luck with this new signing, Lakers.